Welcome to a special webinar created just for you. We are honored that you took the time to spend with us.
Yes.
My name is Pamela Elaine Nichols, and I help women feel good enough to take bold steps to be resilient and happy.
My name is Cheryl Hurley, and I help women gain clarity about their purpose in life.
Cheryl and I put together this webinar because we discovered through our coaching that a lot of women are struggling with feeling unworthy, comparing
Mhm.
themselves with others, thinking they are less than, and having an overall sense of unhappiness. So, in this 60-minute webinar, we, Cheryl and I, want to open your mind. We want to introduce you to a fresh way of thinking about yourself.
Yes.
So, sit back, relax, grab a pen and a notebook, and let's begin. We have two bold questions for you. Question number one, think you don't matter? Question number two, think you're not good enough? Think again. Here's our bold promise. We promise in this webinar that you will feel encouraged to think positively about who you are and your worth. But before we begin the webinar, fulfilling on these two promises, we want to tell you a little bit about ourselves and our story. Cheryl, why don't you kick it off?
Sure. Here's my story. My mom and dad were separated, and my mom and grandma raised me. My dad loved me dearly, but I was challenged by one of his behaviors that impacted my life greatly. He was absolutely notorious for broken promises. Explicitly, he would promise me that he was going to drop off money to me for something special, or he was going to take me out to buy me something, or he was going to take me out for that special outing on Friday. Like a child, my daddy had made me a promise, and I sat patiently on the step every single Friday waiting for my daddy. There were more Fridays than I care to admit that daddy never showed up. When he didn't show up, he left me feeling hurt. As I grew into an adult, silently, I carried the belief that I didn't matter, which had a significant effect on me. And I developed trust issues. These trust issues, trust me, they showed up in every aspect of my life. I often found myself overwhelmed with never ending to do lists because of my trust issues. Then at some point, rather than focusing on what mattered to me, I found myself putting me on the back burner simply because I felt that I didn't matter. After a few life altering events, I found myself in the middle of my thoughts, which challenged me. I had to make one of two choices. I had to decide to continue to believe the lie that I told myself that I didn't matter, or stop playing racquetball with the reoccurring thought that I didn't matter. I chose a process. I chose to renew my beliefs about who I was, and I began to unapologetically accept that I indeed mattered, and it had been extremely life-changing for me. No longer did I believe that I didn't matter, but I fully embrace a profound truth that I remind myself of each day, even when I might fall short in some way, that I am fearful, I am wonderful, I am marvelous, and I indeed matter. That's my story.
Mm, I feel that story, Cheryl.
Oh,
I want to share my story too. Thank you, Cheryl, for sharing that story. It really moved me.
you're more than welcome. Yes.
I will never forget the day my happy-go-lucky, fun, confident self was crushed.
Mm,
I was in the fourth grade and I was in love, not with a boy. I was in love with Paula. Paula and I became fast friends. We were best friends. She enjoyed playing with me on the playground as much as I did with her. We were in every class together, spent weekends in slumber parties together, did our homework together, and talked about what we were going to do when we grew up. For a full year, my life was perfect with Paula. Shelley, a friend of Paula's, was jealous of our friendship. I knew it because she told her sisters, and her sisters told me. Fifth grade came around, and I couldn't wait to be on the same academic team with Paula as I was the year before. When the teacher announced our teams, I was shocked and saddened that Paula and I were not on the same team. Instead, Paula and Shelley were on the same team. Being on a different team meant that we would have to cross one another in the hall, going in opposite directions to our respective classrooms. It meant that we shared no classes together as we once did. I saw Paula coming in the direction towards me in the hallway as we were heading to our respective classes. I also saw Shelley walking side by side with Paula. When I saw Paula approach, I said, "Hey, Paula, Paula, hey," waving my hand frantically, hoping she would see me. "Hey, Paula, hey, hey, Paula, Paula." As Paula approached me, Shelley, I saw, whispered something I couldn't hear in her ear. In that moment, instantly, Paula put her head down and walked right past me as I was waving to her to get her attention to talk to me. She passed me as if I were invisible, as if I didn't matter, as if I were a nobody, as if I weren't good enough for her attention.
Mm-hmm.
From that first day in the 5th grade until my last day in the 8th grade, Paula never, and I mean never, spoke to me again. She completely ignored me. She ignored my calls. She ignored me on the playground. She was always protected by Shelley. The only sense I could make from this painful experience was that I was not good enough as a friend, as a person, as a human being. I am not good enough thoughts dominated my life for decades. This thought messed with my relationships with men and other female friends. And 35 years later, 35 years later, after 2 failed marriages and an emotional breakdown, I had to understand why I suffered in relationships and felt so bad about myself in relationships. Once I learned this negative thought was running the show of my life, I sought to adopt a new way of thinking. Instead of, "I'm not good enough," I now believe I am more than good enough. And I try to live by this belief every day. I think it's working because I've accomplished so many great results that we will share with you in this webinar.
Pam, thank you so much for sharing that story. I felt that as well. And just like Pam and I have shared our stories, we recognize that you too have stories. Looking at housekeeping, we have a special offer for those who stay until the end of the webinar. This webinar will replay, but the special offer aren't included in the replay. Our agenda, we're going to look at 5 things. One is that we're going to expose 2 of the most dangerous lies that sabotage good thoughts about yourself. We're going to explain how these lies hold you back from self-confidence, love, and happiness. But if you do what we tell you, you will experience transformation. Challenge you to rethink the lies within your own thoughts. Fourth, reveal. Reveal what you must do to put these lies to rest. And lastly, 5, there's an offer. We will offer you an opportunity to work with us and allow us to support your journey to self-confidence. We want you to know up front that we have designed a unique program with you in mind. We ask your permission now to share a little bit about this coaching program at the end of this webinar. This is a program that will help you get the results you are looking for in your relationships and in life. We will teach you as much as we can in the time we have together. If you have questions or want to work with us, we will announce this opportunity at the end. We ask that you keep in mind that there will be continuing education. There is no 60-minute webinar is going to change your life. Your life will change when you put into action the concepts we will share here. Along with support you must have in order to change. There are 2 destructive thoughts that will impede upon your thinking that you don't matter and thinking that you're not good enough. I don't matter and I am not enough. What we're offering to you is something you cannot buy in a store, you can't place it on your body, and you can't put it in your mouth. All of these things are great, but they're temporary. If you want to change your life, you have to change your thinking. What we're offering to you is priceless. It is a skill in thought management. By definition, a skill is the ability coming from one's knowledge, practice, aptitude to do something well. We want you to learn how to manage your 2 thoughts. We think of these 2 thoughts as 2 big fat lies. These 2 big fat lies occupy your thoughts, whether you realize them or not. I don't matter and I'm not enough. To bust up these lies and break through to your goals, you have to think again, which means you have to think new thoughts. Why people fail? Here's the problem. When most people don't master their lives, they don't pay attention to their thoughts. That means they don't master their goals, their plans, their relationships, or their health. There are 5 reasons people don't manage their thoughts and master their lives. The first reason is a lack of awareness. Because of our stories, as Pam and I shared our stories earlier during the introduction, we recognize that you too have stories. If we don't manage the thoughts that we have around these stories, we are not aware of just how it is interfering with our ability to move forward in happiness and fulfill the purpose that we have for our lives. The second is blame. Rather than take personal responsibility for what's going on in our thought life, we will associate it to something else. Perhaps it's a thing, or perhaps it's a person, but it's the inability to take personal responsibility for what's going on with our thinking. The third is fear. Fear, as we know, could be false evidence appearing real. Regardless of what our stories is, what's the associated fear around that story that drives our thoughts? The fourth is slow to adopt a new belief. In order for us to manage our thoughts, to realize and accept that we do matter and that we're good enough, it means that we have to adopt a new belief. And the fifth is a lack of self-care. When our thought life is not where it's supposed to be, and we're thinking that we don't matter, and we're thinking that we're not good enough, it affects our self-care. We begin to not care about taking time to make sure we're doing what's necessary for ourselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So those are the 5 reasons why we fail.
Cheryl and I both failed. We failed at this, and we failed for decades. Wouldn't that be fair to say, Cheryl?
It's certainly, Pam. You're on the point. You're on point.
Until we discovered what was going on in our thinking, then we had to make some changes, and we shared a little bit about that earlier. But so what, right? Like, you change your thinking, you have these thoughts about yourself, rather, and
Yes.
to change your thinking, then you have to have something in your life that proves you've overcome that way of thinking. That's why we want to share with you briefly our surprising results. For me, when I overcame the thinking of I'm not good enough, I had a number of accomplishments for which I am very proud. Before I even tell you those few accomplishments for which I am very proud, I have to tell you that those thoughts of I'm not good enough still come up. When I was sharing my story about Paula, I still had a gut, visceral, painful almost
Mhm.
feeling about that. Like I went back to when I was in fourth grade, like fourth grade, that's like 40 years ago. But I still felt some anxiety around it. And feeling that made me think about many of the times I still battle with, struggle with, I'm not good enough thoughts. However, I've learned that when I counter those thoughts with I am good enough and then walk boldly or make bold steps congruent with I'm good
Mm.
enough, then I have
Yeah.
surprising results. And so
Mm.
here are some of those results. One
Go
is
ahead.
I appeared on the Dr. Oz show to tell my story of resilience after divorce.
Awesome.
Two, I published a book that is on Amazon right now. Three, I published a couple of original songs that I wrote myself and now perform live. Four, I forgave people in my life who really hurt me because I thought, wow, I'm good enough to forgive people who did stuff that was messed up, including Paula and including Shelley. And lastly, I did something remarkable in my eyes. And that is, I took my wants and needs off the back burner where I put them because I thought everybody else's wants and needs were more important. Took them off the back burner, put them on the front burner so that I could have happiness and fulfillment that I now enjoy.
Mhm. That was absolutely amazing. And one of the things that you shared that I totally, totally agree with is that even though we had our stories and we have gone through a process that we have managed our thoughts and we recognize that we individually and collectively recognize and accept that we matter and that we're good enough, it does not mean that each and every day or on occasion those thoughts don't come up. For me, every day, even when I feel that I fall short, I have to be reminded each and every day that I am fearful, that I am wonderful, and I am marvelous, and that I do matter. And as a result of that, my accomplishments, which I am so grateful for, is that the first thing that I had to do, which I say and believe was most important, is release the residual thoughts that had created barriers to my purpose and to my happiness. I got my happy back, and that was necessary. Secondly, I made a decision when I recognized that I mattered. I ended a toxic work relationship that no longer fulfilled my goals and was affecting my overall wellness. Third, I abandoned the lie that attempted to sabotage my desire to write. And to date, I have 4 published books, and I'm excited about it. 4
Not one, but
not one, four, 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 four. Yes. And lastly, fully embrace as well as teach others that our wellness is our number one priority. No longer am I putting my wants and my desires and my dreams on the back burner, but they're on the forefront. And I'm excited about that. So those are our surprising results that we have shared with you, and we want to learn more about your results down the line.
you may be thinking that you cannot succeed in managing the thoughts that you matter or you're good enough, which is the same as to say you can manage thoughts that you don't matter and thoughts that you are not good enough. Cheryl and I believe for you that you can manage these thoughts. We believe for you that you can manage these feelings. It's true that it's hard to manage these thoughts. And why? It's because scientists say that we have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day. Wait, just think about that for a second. 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. Imagine getting a penny for every thought. You know the expression, a penny for your thought?
Mm-hmm.
What if we got a penny for every thought? Each day, how rich we would be. Okay, I digress. You have between 60,000 and 80,000 thoughts per day. Most of these thoughts are the same. This is what scientists say. Most of these thoughts are the same and they are repetitive. Mm-hmm. But even more astounding, scientists tell us, is that these thoughts are mostly negative. So that means that you're thinking these thousands and thousands of thoughts per day, which are the same thoughts, and they're mostly negative. But you can control your thoughts through awareness. Mm-hmm. The awareness that you are thinking about something and naming what that something is. Then reprogramming your thoughts, which is what we mean by that is choosing new thoughts and repeating those new thoughts over and over and over and over again. That means those 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day are mostly thoughts you choose automatically. So you're not, oh, let me think, but automatically on autopilot, you choose those thoughts rather than those thoughts choose you. You may also be thinking, I don't have time to think about what I'm thinking about. I'm super busy. And we would say we agree with you. We're all super busy.
That's right.
We would also say that what you don't have time for is the stress that you experience every day when you compare yourself with others, like coworkers. Mm-hmm. When you look at social media friends and feel they're better than you and happier than you. We say that you don't have the time for the stress of being in and out of bad relationships and still choosing the same person every time. We say you don't have time for the pain of arguing with a child or a neighbor or even the person at the Rite Aid pharmacy about what you want and what you think you deserve, because you're feeling in the back of your mind, she's not listening to me, nobody's listening to me, I don't matter, I'm not good enough. We say you don't have time for that. So next, you're probably thinking, all right, I think I'm convinced, Pamela, Elaine, and Cheryl, but please tell me, how do I manage my thoughts? How do I feel good enough? How do I feel like I matter? Cheryl and I want to offer a simple process that you can practice starting today. We have given the process the acronym of STAFF, STAFF. S, stop. T, think. A, ask. F, feel. F, focus. Now I want you to think about for a moment, or visualize in your head for a moment, a staff, whether that is a shepherd holding his staff to lead his sheep, or what Cheryl and I love is the story in the Bible of Moses, who was given a staff that was his protection, his connection to God, and his power. So When you are going down the rabbit hole of thinking you don't matter or thinking you are not good enough, we want you to do this 5-step process we call STAFF.
Yes.
Step 1, stop. Stop and realize you are thinking and that your thoughts are taking you down a rabbit hole. 2, think. Become aware where your mind is going. 3, ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? Like, what are my actual thoughts? What am I really thinking in my head? And you can do this if you stop, if you think, and if you ask. Step 4 is feel. This is important because you have to allow yourself time to process what you are feeling, which come up based on your thoughts. Scientists say, and I've practiced the 90-second rule. For 90 seconds, just feel whatever you feel. That means the thought that you have that you're not gonna, like, let's say, for example, you're looking at your girlfriend on social media and she looks like she's having the perfect life and your life isn't. That brings up a certain feeling for you. And that feeling, that emotion,
Mm-hmm.
lies somewhere in your body. So we want you to feel whatever it is you feel. You may feel jealous. You may feel envious. 5th, focus. Focus with a vision in your mind. Focus on a new thought that is positive. So see yourself being in that vision. You must, however, have a focused thought ready to repeat to yourself or read. We suggest you keep a list of a journal, or better, on your phone or an index card. Wherever you keep these written thoughts, make sure they are handy. Why? Because at the time the negative thought comes up, you don't have time to look for a focused thought. You just need to have one handy. So grab it and focus on it for 90 seconds.
And because we recognize that one's ability to manage their thoughts matters, that's why we created the Think Again program. Pam and I created a unique and interactive coaching program for a special group of you. The program is called Think Again. In this program, you learn a skill to turn on thoughts that empower you and turn off thoughts that weaken you. You practice a skill when you are in an irritating meeting or you're having a difficult conversation, whether it might be with your boss, whether it might be with a family member, whether it might be with one of your children. You can practice a skill. You switch to a strong thought when you compare yourself to another person. When Pam gave reference, you might look in the social media and you might compare yourself to someone else. When you switch to a strong thought, then you could use this Think Again program. We created this program to be intimate, to be attentive, and special for a unique group of individuals who are hungry. You're ready. You're anxious, and you're committed to growth. And not just growth, but personal growth. You're tired of feeling sour. You're tired of all the drama. You're tired of being passed over, and you want more. You believe you deserve better. This program has been created just for you. Pam and I coach you each week for 8 weeks live in the flesh. Each week, we unfold a new concept for you to practice in real life. We meet live, online, just like this. We answer your questions and we give you advice. During the days we are not live, we answer your emails and we encourage you to conquer those defeating thoughts that are going to show up. This program is easy to do because we will be guiding you, challenging you, and encouraging you every step of the way. This program is easy to afford because we have made it super inexpensive.
These 5 steps are the tip of the iceberg. There is so much more to learn. One webinar is not sufficient to build your self-confidence and self-worth. Likely you have some questions. The frequently asked questions we get and will answer here for you are, well, how will my life be different with self-confidence and self-worth? Great question. Your life will be different with self-confidence and self-worth because one, you'll step up and ask for what you deserve. Two, you will stop putting your needs on the back burner and putting everyone else's first. And three, you'll have less stress. Stress is one of the biggest culprits of disease and disability. We want you to get rid of the stress in your life about how you feel and how you think about your worth and worthiness. You might have another question like, well, thought management seems so hard. How do I think differently? Thinking differently takes practice. You cannot go into the gym day one and say, I want to be able to lift 45 pounds 10 times and repeat that 3 times. You can't do that on the first day. You can say it, but you won't be able to accomplish that goal. It requires practice, going to the gym at least 3 times a week, lifting those weights until you get stronger and stronger and stronger that you can do that repetition 3 times. Same with thought. You have to practice a new thought, and then you have to practice that new thought in the midst of a difficult situation. While you're looking at your girlfriend dancing around, having a great time on social media, her life seems perfect. You've got to practice in that moment a new thought about yourself. When it's hard, it's only when the athlete pushes herself beyond her comfort zone does she grow, does she build muscle, is she able to run 5 miles, 10 miles, or whatever it is the goal is. A third question you might be asking is, well, what kind of support will I get, or will I be on my own? We would never do this workshop or this webinar rather. We would never do this without giving you the support that you need, because Cheryl and I recognize that without support from other people in our lives, we would not be able to have new thoughts about feeling that we matter or feeling that we're good enough. Support is key. There's a great saying that it takes a village to raise a child. It
Mm-hmm.
takes a village to have a new thought. It takes a village to have a new life, and we want to be part of that village.
Now, anybody that knows me knows that I love quotes. And we have 3 quotes that we want to share with you. Now, would you be surprised that even our most celebrated celebrities struggle with negative thoughts and self-worth? Mary J. Blige says, society paints this picture where you have to have the longest hair and the thinnest body, and you can't help but want to be that beautiful person you see on that picture. But then you have to start asking yourself the question, is that realistic for you? I began to ask myself those questions. Both Pam and I did. Who am I working out for? Who am I looking good for? When I look in the mirror, who do I want to please? Do I want to please people, or do I want to please myself first? So I began to want to please myself first. I can't please everybody. I can't be the slimmest girl, but I can be the best girl that I can be. Another quote that we have is the one from Brene Brown. Brene Brown says, what we know matters, but who we are matters more. Just think about that for a second. Third one is from Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama says, I am an example of what is possible when girls from the very beginning of their lives are loved and nurtured by people around them. I was surrounded by extraordinary women in my life who taught me about quiet strength and dignity.
Oh, those are great quotes.
Yes,
They really moved me.
yes.
Thank you for those. Think you don't matter? Think you're not good enough? Think again. Cheryl and I designed Think Again, a program, and we designed it as a group coaching experience. Why? Because we want you to believe that you matter. And we want you to believe that you are good enough.
Yes.
We hacked into your brain without you knowing to discover your repetitive thoughts of, I don't matter, I'm not enough. We want you to practice a new belief about yourself
Mm-hmm.
so that you can experience change in your life where change matters to you. Where change matters to you may be different than where change matters to me or where change matters to Cheryl. Where
Yes.
change matters to me is in two areas, relationships and money. Where change matters to Cheryl it's very different than mine. Cheryl?
Mine would be recognizing that you matter, and secondly, recognizing that you need to make your wellness your number one priority in everything that you do.
So in this group coaching, you get to benefit from the raw and real experiences from others, including Cheryl and me. You won't
Yes.
feel alone, and you will feel connected to other people who get you, understand your story, and support where you want to go. This group program is 8 weeks. It includes, and 8 weeks is nothing, people. Just think about that. That's a drop in the bucket.
That's
It
right.
Yeah, it includes amazing features that we know you will love because we love them. One, coaching. You get a personal coach who knows you and understands the challenges that you are going through, listens and supports you. That alone is $1,200 as a value. Two is your coach takes time to be your purpose partner, holding you accountable to switching negative thoughts to positive thoughts. That alone is a $600 value. You get a live Zoom call every week for 8 weeks where your coach digs into your challenges and offers advice and insight. That alone is an $1,800 value. You get a must-have I am affirmations audio
Yes.
Cheryl and I created. This is an audio that you can wake up to and go to sleep on.
Hmm.
You will also get a Think Again frame certificate to display or share with people who you love to let them know, listen, I went through a transformational program.
That's right.
I'm thinking differently about myself.
That's right.
You'll also get a Think Again tee, like something really pretty to put on your body to go to sleep in or wear underneath your garment, whatever works for you. And
Yes.
you'll also get our top 10 recommended inspirational list. So when you're feeling stuck, you just click on one of those items in the list and get uplifted. So let me share briefly what you will learn in the 8 sessions together. In session 1, you will learn what you really think about yourself. When you think, you aren't thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Session 2 is you will learn how thoughts become your reality. If you find yourself repeating the same old experiences, whether it's like the same old guy or the same old thoughts or the same old reactions when someone says something to you, it's because you're thinking a certain way about yourself and you don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Section 3 is you will learn the STAFF system. STAFF. Stop, think, ask, feel, focus system. Session 4, you will apply the STAFF system to one specific painful, I can't take it anymore area of your life.
Yes.
Session 5 is we will coach you online in real time on the results from applying the STAFF system. Session 6 is we will take real life challenges and show you how to apply the STAFF system. Session 7, we will have testimonials as well as get you to hear from a guest presenter who you will really, really like. And our last
Yes.
session, we will celebrate your success and offer any additional tips. It's really important that you celebrate accomplishments. If you gloss over accomplishments, don't recognize that you're thinking differently, then you will never appreciate the change you're making. We celebrate to engrave in your brain, oh, wait, I do matter. Oh, wait, I am good enough. And the more
Yes.
and more you believe that, the more and more your life will reflect that. And the more and more you will celebrate that so you can keep the repetitive cycle of celebration, award celebration. The value of all of the
Yes.
resources and the program, if you add up the numbers, is $3,600. But wait, don't hang up. Don't drop the line. Don't leave us yet. You will really like what's coming next.
So let's give a recap of the Think Again program. We want you to be successful, but that's not enough for us. We want you to be super successful. That's why we're offering a 2-for-1 deal. Instead of getting one coach, you get 2 coaches, meaning you don't just get attention, you get ultra attention. Number 1, coaching, you get 2 personal coaches who know you and understand your challenges. They will listen and support you. Number 2 is your coaches both take time to be your purpose partners. We hold you accountable to changing your thoughts. And number 3, you're going to get 1 live Zoom call weekly where your coaches dig into your challenges and offer advice and insight in addition to the group coaching Zoom calls. This value is the same as the value for 1 coach. 1 coach was $3,600, but we have a great offer just for you. The Think Again bonuses. We're offering an amazing deal to the first 10 people who respond to this offer. As a bonus to those who are serious, committed, and ready, we have a special offer. The group coaching program is not $3,600. It is not $2,600. And it is not $1,600. In fact, it is only $997 for 8 weeks of coaching. But you have to let us know you are ready and email us by midnight at thinkagaincoach@gmail.com.
Let's repeat that email address, Cheryl.
That email address again is thinkagaincoach@gmail.com.
Yeah. Think again, coach@gmail.com. Let's answer some questions we know you have and are frequently asked questions. Question. Well, how do 2 coaches act as one? Great question. We act as one because we have you scheduled on a joint calendar between us.
Mm-hmm.
You come to that scheduled appointment virtually. You don't have to show up in person. It's all by Zoom. So we see your face, you see our face, whether you're at Starbucks or in your house or in the south of France suntanning. Cheryl and I, side by side, will listen to you, hear what you have to say, connect with your pain, connect with your challenges, and as one voice, we will give you insight, advice, revelations, tips,
Yes.
strategies, and tools.
Yes.
Cheryl and I have been friends since 1994.
Mm-hmm.
And we've worked together since 1996. So we kind of act as one. We know what one another's thinking. We know the direction one another's going, and we tease each other saying, like, we know where the dead body is hidden.
We do.
So we are connected on the spiritual level,
Yes, yes.
intellectual level, that we act as one. But at the same time, we will coach you with our diverse background. So you get a perspective that Cheryl has that I don't have, and a perspective I have that Cheryl doesn't have, that gives you a 360-degree observation of your life that is far more enriching than if only one of us were coaching you. Second, Is there a money back guarantee? Yes, there is. That means after the second session, you feel you have not gained any value and you've already paid for future sessions, we will refund your future sessions. We ask that you give us at least 2 sessions before you quit to make sure you're quitting because you're not getting value. Why? Cheryl and I know, we are confident that what we offer to you in this coaching program will be of value. You need to at least stick with it for 2 sessions. And then if you're not feeling us or feeling what we offer, we will refund your money. All you have to do is let us know by email, thinkagaincoach@gmail.com, and we will refund the remaining of the money that you put up. Third question, can I reach you during non-coaching hours? Yes, you can. Like, really? The non-coaching hours are the hours where you're really going to be challenged to live a life where you think you matter and a life where you do feel good enough about yourself. We say, yes, you can reach us. All you have to do is email us, and within 24 hours, you will get a response. Fourth, who are the other members of this group coaching, and will I like them? Well, we can't speak for whether you will like or not like someone. That really is your own drama or non-drama. We can say that we are intentionally identifying those members we think will be a best fit in the coaching program, which means that we interview everyone before we say, we think you're a good fit. We do a quick 15-minute assessment to determine who is or who is not ideal for this unique, intimate, special coaching program. So we know that who we invite in and who becomes a part of this coaching program are quality folks ready to do the hard work, ready to commit, and ready to give value to others. Fifth, how often do we meet as a group? Once a week. Online, in the comforts of your home. You can be in your pajamas or you can be at Starbucks, as we said earlier. No matter where you are, but you can dial in and conference with us from wherever you are once a week. And that schedule is one we will give to you later, but it does begin in the following month from this webinar. Where do we meet as a group? Wherever you are, darling, is where we will meet. So again, if you're in your home, in your bedroom, in your kitchen, at work, at Starbucks, or wherever it is, that's where you meet us. 2 more. What if I can't make a group session? No problems, no worries, no stress. Every group meeting is recorded, and that recording is sent to you as a link. You click on it and listen at your convenience and do the work also, because there is work to do. It's not just about listening. You do the work at your convenience as well, and then meet us at the next live session. Will my voice be heard in these group meetings? I tend to be shy and quiet. Baby, it's time to not be shy and quiet in this setting, because you must go get it. Go get what? This is a song by Mary Mary. Go get it, go get it, go get your blessing. Okay, we want you to go get what your blessing is. So yes, your voice will be heard, because we will ask you and invite you delicately to share your experience. You don't have to be shy and you don't have to be quiet in this setting, because we won't let you.
So you've just heard what this coaching program will include. And you might be thinking, well, this is all very nice, but can Cheryl and Pamela Elaine really help me? We have coached many clients. How about we let you hear from just 2 of them?
My coaching experience with Cheryl Hurley has been amazing. Cheryl is a very talented, God-centered coach. And she kept bringing me gently back to remind me of the importance of really looking at myself and what I need, what I want, what is good for me, and what God wants for me in my life, and encouraging me to set SMART goals, specific, measurable, actionable, and realistic, and timely goals. It's been an incredible ride and journey so far. She's one of the best coaches I've ever worked with.
I am Lee Cohen, and I just had the great pleasure of working with Pamela Elaine. So I do have sessions with Pamela Elaine now, and I love them. I call her my cheerleader because she's always keeping me upbeat and sort of forward thinking. And I think of all the things that she's helped me with the most, it's to help me identify my emotions and to give me the tools to help me continue to do that even after the sessions are done. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to use all the things that I'm learning and move my life forward in a great and happy way.
Think Again is a group coaching program. We want to emphasize the word group because you're not alone. It isn't for everyone. Some people like to kick the tires and not commit.
Mm-hmm.
We only want to work with individuals who are ready to commit. These committed individuals get to become a member of the special and exclusive group coaching program that we are forming. If you think you are ready to commit, okay, so commit means you're not going backwards. You make the decision and you move forward. We want to get to know you a bit better first and allow you to get to know us better too. We are holding a 15-minute personal one-on-one coaching session to determine if you are ready to think again. All you have to do is email us at thinkagaincoach@gmail.com and let us know that you are, quote, ready to think again, unquote, in order to be eligible for a 15-minute personal assessment. If you are a good fit for the group coaching program and ready to think again, we will enroll you on the spot into the program. We can't wait to support you. Email us at thinkagaincoach@gmail.com and let us know that you are ready to think again. We will schedule you for a 15-minute personal assessment to determine if you are eligible and a great fit for this unique, personalized, intimate group for the coaching program. The assessment to determine if you are eligible is free. You only pay once we determine you are a good fit for the coaching program. Think again. We cannot wait to help you think again. I'm so delighted that you spent this time with us.
Yes.
And we are looking forward to your email to us, thinkagaincoach@gmail.com. Do it now. Don't delay, because your life deserves to feel that you matter and that you are good enough. Cheryl, any last comments?
We just can't wait to help you think again. Thank you so much for joining us for this webinar. Bye-bye.